I've been driving the 2024 Toyota Corolla Cross all week, and it competes in such a competitive subcompact SUV market. So I'm going to take you on a full tour. I'm going to show you the exterior, the interior, and we're going to see how the new Toyota Corolla Cross compares to its competition. Let's get into it. As usual, let's start off with taking a look at the front end. This is the Toyota LE all-wheel drive with the premium edition, or with the premium package, so we do have a little bit of nice things which I'll show you as we go. But taking a look first at those daytime running LEDs, they look very nice. This is the main headlight bulb is right there, which is very good. No complaints there. It looks like a Toyota Corolla from the front, and the fact that this is a Cross kind of makes sense, right? I don't have any parking sensors in the front. I also don't have a front-facing camera, nothing like that. You can see there's kind of like a cutout for fog lights, but there isn't any. There is also a hybrid version for the Corolla Cross available. I do think that that might be the option that people are more drawn to. This, however, is the only the gas one, but so far it's been pretty good on fuel. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, overall for the front end, it looks very Toyota-ish. They haven't really changed it too much. It looks like a baby RAV4 from the front, and I think it looks like a baby RAV4 from the whole thing, as you'll see. But yeah, I don't mind that. I think it's got pretty good ground clearance. I think for the subcompact market, I like the paint too and everything, so it's definitely decent. You're not going to stand out or anything like that, but it is still pretty decent for the price too. So as we talk about price, the price for this one is around the $32,000 Canadian mark. US folks, you're going to get it a little bit cheaper than that, so that's nice. Next up, let's take a look under the engine. We have a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine that's going to give us 169 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque. Of course, all-wheel drive, and it is a CVT. So with that premium package that I was telling you about, we get 18-inch alloy wheels, powered moonroof, and some roof rails. So that's pretty much it for the premium package, but that's fine. I'll show you those rims in just a second. And yeah, so it's not the hybrid version. I think, like I said, I think that's what people are going to want to go with, but it's fine. The gas is doing well so far, so let's continue with the rest. So next we move on to the side for the Toyota Corolla Cross, and you can just see how compact it is. It's also a really nice paint color for what it is. I don't mind the painted skirts on the side or the non-painted skirts on the side. You can get a good look here. We'll zoom in on these 18-inch alloy wheels, which look very good as well. I think that's probably going to be the way to go in terms of looks. I think it does make a difference. You can also see from the side profile here, we have the roof rails that are included in my premium package, so that's going to be useful for some of you as well. And you can see that we have the sunroof right here as well. We also do have some keyless entry. Put your hand right like this in here and it's going to unlock, and there's a little sensor there as well. Some nice turn signal LEDs for the mirrors here, very nice touch as well. And yeah, it's overall a compact SUV, and it does, in terms of looks, it's maybe not the most crazy looking in the lineup, but it is, you know, still pretty good looking. All right, so let's move on to the back. I'm on a bit of like a slant here where I have the car parked, but we will check out the back. I've got the iconic Toyota tail lights back here. You've seen them, you know what they are. I've got the LE all-wheel drive, the Corolla Cross badges there as well. This is the part, the back of the Cross is really where I get confused between this and a RAV4. So I'm always looking for other cars on the road while I'm driving these, and I'm constantly getting confused. So it really does look very similar. I've got one backup parking camera there. It's standard nowadays on all vehicles. The quality is, it leaves a little bit to be desired, we will say that, but it is what it is for the price. I can't complain. It makes it very hard to complain with the price. I also have a rear wiper here, pretty standard. Not an automatic tailgate, but no problem. Opens up just fine. I've got plenty of room in here, no problem there as well. I like these little side pockets on the side here, which is really good. Like, and it really goes down all the way. So I really like to put my groceries and stuff, and loose stuff can go in there. If I look under the floor here, you'll see that I have just a spare tire. Nothing crazy going on there. It is a full spare tire, in fact. So yeah, and then you have also this little privacy screen that you can pull over. Usually I leave that down though, because I always have stuff to shove in there. But yeah, it's pretty decent size. Can't complain about it for the price. Let's check out the interior. All right, as usual, up first, we're taking a look at the rear for the Toyota Corolla Cross. Let's take a look. So you can see we've got the cloth seats right here with kind of like this interesting, like, you know, pattern in it. It's very black. There's, like, as you can see, like if you just look at it from here, there's not a lot of materials going on here, but we're trying to save money, so that's completely fine. There's a cup holder right here because there isn't any in the center, so let's actually hop in. So once we're sitting in the car, I have just enough room. Like, it is very, very compact. It's the same that I felt in the CX-30. It's extremely, I've got like good space underneath my feet here, which is nice. And then we don't have like any kind of ventilation back here or ventilation control back here. I do have some vents. I have 2 USB chargers, one that I have plugged in actually right now. You can see the other side right here. No sunroof, but there is, I mean, there's no panoramic roof anyways for the back, but there is this little cutout for, you know, your head, so that way, like, I'm not really touching the roof so much, so that's nice. And then it kind of links right back to the trunk, but it's perfect like this. I don't feel like I'm scraping my head around, which is, you know, kind of what you want when you're sitting back here, so that's pretty good too. So overall in the back, I'm a little bit squished. My knees don't fit that well. I'm 5'11", but if all you're looking for is a compact SUV, then you do have just enough room back here. But let's take a look up front. All right, next up is the front seat for the Corolla Cross. Much bigger door, no memory seats, nothing like that to show you. I can show you the seats. We have that same kind of pattern that you saw on the back seat, which is nice. It's all power adjusted seat, not power adjusted, it's manual adjusted seats, because again, we're going for the cost saving route, so you're gonna have to manual do everything like that. But let's actually hop in and see what we're working with here. You're immediately greeted by this very good looking Toyota steering wheel. If you know me, I'm a fan of steering wheel feels and stuff like that. The steering wheel feel here is very nice, very good. I don't mind it at all. I loved it on the Sienna. I equally like it on the Cross, so that's really good. And then on the steering wheel, I've got a couple controls. I've got the, you know, some of the media controls, and then this guy right here is going to control my digital gauge cluster, or the center screen anyways. Then I also have the cruise controls and stuff like that over here, as well as some more media controls. The media controls on Toyotas are kind of always split up, at least the ones that I've driven so far. So talking about that middle screen right there, I'll kind of try to center my camera on it here. Yeah, so basically it's very small. You can see there's a mix of digital and analog, and the analog has no detail whatsoever. But you know what? Again, we are trying to save money. We're in the low cost range, so that is completely like fine with me. And you can see different things like your fuel economy, whether or not you're driving efficiently or not, where the power is coming from. Tire pressure gauge, which is nice to have in here too. Most modern cars do nowadays, so that's fine. Very nice though. Nothing to complain about, nothing to brag about either. Then we move to the right-hand side over to the screen. It's kind of like flashy because the screen refresh rate is quite low. But I'll tell you quickly that it's very simple. It's actually a better infotainment screen than the one that I found in the Toyota Sienna, so that's very good. It kind of tells you my efficiency, stuff like that. I do have built-in navigation, which was a surprise for this. I was expecting to have to go up to a higher model to get that, but thankfully I didn't, so that's nice to have. You know, so also there's very basic settings. There's not a lot. We've got wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, as well as wired, so that's perfectly fine. Then I have single zone automatic climate control right here, so that's not bad either. I've got all my physical buttons here. We don't have to use the screen for anything, so perfect there. Then we go down here. This part feels a little dated because like the switches they feel old and they just feel weird, but we do have heated seats and heated steering, so that is a fantastic plus. Just below that, I have a wireless charger pad that comes with our premium package, like I said before. Auto start stop button right there. Then I have the, you know, classic shifter, pretty much the same one I found on the Sienna, not much different. Got a brake hold button, electronic parking brake, 2 cup holders, a little bit of storage in there, not bad. I've been putting a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, overall, it is a very like low cost interior, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing because Toyota has to compete at a low price point. And unfortunately nowadays, for a low price point, they can't overload on the features. It's very hard to do it, and it's just going to cost you a lot. But this is, you know, completely fine for what it wants to be. This is a good daily driver. I get in here, I know where everything is, I know how to use everything, and it works, you know, flawlessly pretty much. And that's kind of all you can expect from a car in this price point in Toyota. The Corolla Cross is doing that very nice. So that's going to do it for the interior. I showed you the exterior already. Let's take it on that POV drive. Let's go. All right, on the road with the 2024 Toyota Corolla Cross. Before we get into it, if you like what you saw so far, you gotta give me a like, and you make sure you subscribe, because that is the best way to support me and the channel. And if you have liked what you've seen in general so far, or whoops. And if you're not interested in the Corolla Cross, I have got so many vehicles that I've driven for you, and I just absolutely love doing it. My only goal with these things is to, make sure that you guys, when you're buying your cars, you're the most informed you can be. You've seen every aspect of the vehicle, and I try to show you that, as best I can. So let's talk about how the Toyota Corolla Cross compares to some of its competition. Performance-wise, it definitely is on the lower end, but surprisingly not the lowest. Here, I'll give it some gas here. Power delivery is slow but smooth. It also almost revs nearly to red line before it decides to shift when you put your foot down. Okay, so there you go. It's definitely on the lower end. It's one of those ones where I feel like on the highway, you kind of do have to plan your moves. You kind of have to be careful, and you kind of can't do things last minute. You do need a lot of space and time to accelerate and pass and stuff like that, because as you saw, although the power delivery is smooth, doesn't have a lot of it. 169 horsepower isn't very much, but like I said, we're not on the lowest bar of that because the Buick Envista had only 130. Now, granted, the Buick Envista did have a turbocharger. I don't believe this one does, but still, they were both slow. They are both slow. So, I mean, in terms of competition like that, but if you compare it to something like maybe the high-end Daytona, that's a bit on the higher end of the horsepower, a little bit faster, a little bit smoother too on the pickup. But yeah, for what it is, for what I think people are going to be using this for, not a lot of people are driving in the fast lane with the Corolla Cross, so that's good. If you are, though, you do have adaptive cruise control, which is nice too to have. Especially in our price point that we're in here, you kind of got to give a little bit of leeway when you're reviewing things like that, because of the fact that we're not breaking the bank too much here, and I don't have any drive mode, so pretty much I'm always in. I'm pretty sure I'm always in eco mode, or the vehicle is always trying to save some gas, and I'm sure that the hybrid Corolla Cross, what a genius move to add that. I think it makes this vehicle even better, and I think that might be the way to go. Like, I do like the gas car, there is benefits to it, but hybrid, you just get the best of both worlds. You just get the EV performance, or not the EV performance, but the EV efficiency, the EV kind of peace of mind, and then, oh well, if your battery runs out, it's like a normal gas car. You just go up and fill, and no problem. You can still get from point A to point B without having to rely on a network of chargers that don't exist yet. So I'll talk a little bit about handling as well. I do like the looseness of the steering. Usually I'm more of like a firm steering feel, but in a vehicle like this where it's going to be doing a lot of daily driving, a lot of parking lots, you want the steering to have a lot of give to it. You want it to be nice and comfortable and easy to move, and it definitely is very easy to move around in parking lots, so that's excellent news as well for the Corolla Cross. It's small enough that I fit into any spot. I could go downtown, really not have any problem, and the smaller spots in downtown, I can definitely fit in them. And also, I don't have a sedan. I still have the size and the all-wheel drive and stuff like that from an SUV, and I think that's what's going to attract people a lot. So like, there is quite a bit of body roll, but again, not a performance. You're not taking this on the track. You're maybe driving this to the track to watch other people, but you're definitely probably not taking this on the track itself, and it's not meant to do that, so that's completely fine. I like my climate control in here. It keeps things plenty cool or warm. It's hot out today, so it's being very cool to me. The ride quality is actually surprisingly good. Like, I've been saying this, like, I've driven the Mazda. Take something like a Mazda CX-50 Meridian, not even in the same class of SUV, but the ride quality was so rough on that thing. This thing is so much better, and the price difference is crazy. So you know what? Sometimes price and ride quality don't always coincide, and this is definitely one of those cases where the ride quality is actually really, really good. Even if I have cloth seats, stuff like that, I don't find myself really caring about that at all. Like, it's just completely fine to drive the way it is. So I could definitely do a long road trip in this thing. Again, I have a gas car, so it's not a big deal. My fuel economy is, I will tell you, I'm at a 9.9 liters per 100 kilometers, but I believe that's total average of, I've done about like 200 kilometers only. I haven't gotten to drive this that much this week, but yeah, about 250 kilometers that I've done so far. Yeah, 9.9 is still on the high side. That's why I feel like, again, the hybrid would be the better option, because it would be able to save you more fuel, but it actually isn't terrible. It's the same numbers I saw on its competition, like the Kona and the Envista. I'm pretty sure I saw the same things, so it's right there. I haven't driven the Chevrolet Trax, which is really in there, and then I think it's either the HRV or the CRV for Honda. One of those two. I think one of them is pretty small. The Mazda CX-30 is there too, but that one had a lot of horsepower and stuff like that, so it's hard to really, really compare it. But still, I feel like in terms of space, this is very much like the Mazda CX-30 in terms of its space. And in terms of its drive too, they're kind of close in that field as well. But look, for what you're going to be spending on this thing, if all you want is an SUV that isn't a full-size SUV that, you know, has sort of the space that an SUV has all-wheel drive, is easy to use, you hop in, you understand everything, is not terrible on fuel, then this is the way to go, because you just don't want to spend that much money on a car, especially nowadays. I don't feel like people are really buying cars like they used to. And you know, you just kind of want to save money, and this is a perfect option to do that. If you have like a small family as well, excellent grocery getter, excellent daily driver, excellent errand runner. You gotta go pick your kids up from school in this thing, no problem, it's gonna work for you. And you get the Toyota reliability. Toyota is extremely reliable. From everybody I've spoken to that's owned a Toyota, they've always lasted them forever, so you also get the added ability of having that reliability. So that is going to do it for my video review of the Toyota Corolla Cross. I don't know why that was so hard for me to get out. If you want to know what it's like to live an entire week, I do kind of like a little vlog series of, you know, different things that I find about the car, and like, you know, as I'm driving it throughout the week, as I discover the car in real time. You can also watch that happen if you're interested at all in the Toyota Corolla Cross. I've got even more coverage on it coming just after the review. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Nobody else is doing these boring cars on YouTube, and I take them because I want to be there for you guys. I'm going to take every boring car that comes my way, and I'm also going to take every nice car and everything in between. That is part of my job. That is what I signed up for. Just because a car is considered boring or not as attractive, it doesn't have a V8, doesn't matter to me. I will review every single car that I can get my hands on, because I want to bring you guys the most detailed channel. I want to have a catalog, whether it's boring, whether it costs $100,000 or $20,000. I want you guys to see it, and I hope that I've helped at least one of you. That is my only goal with this. So with that being said, I will see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.